Good morning, and welcome to another Monday Messages. My name's Rebecca, and I am an energy alchemist. I support as many people as I can, especially women, to be able to transform stuck or disempowering clumps of energy that are holding us back from stepping into our full, powerful selves. And I use several tools, but the main tool, my foundational tool, those of you who've been watching me regularly will know, is homeopathy. And I wanted to talk today about something that's come into my radar recently, but actually comes in regularly, and I actually am even guilty of it myself from time to time. And that is using homeopathic remedies in an allopathic way. So what do I mean by that? I mean that we are trying to squeeze and apply homeopathic remedies to some kind of allopathic diagnosis. And what can happen when we do that is several things. Sometimes we get lucky and we'll get a good result, but we won't really know why that result has happened. Unless we happen to be working with somebody who is going to help us to have that knowledge. But most of the time, what happens, and this is what concerns me, is that people will recommend a remedy, or maybe you will have read an article that suggests that you use a certain remedy for a certain complaint. And you try that remedy and it doesn't work. And you then come away disappointed, understandably, but with a belief that is starting, which is extremely disempowering, that homeopathy doesn't work. And it doesn't work, consistently, when it's not prescribed in the right way. And when we're starting off using homeopathy, and I did this too, we are often trying to use these natural remedies, but still in an allopathic way. So we're still dependent on that diagnosis. We're still dependent on some kind of outside authority telling us what's wrong. And then we can find a remedy for it. And the paradigm that homeopathy works to is almost the direct opposite to the paradigm that pharmaceutical medicine works to. So, very broadly speaking, just a reminder, pharmaceutical medicine relies on a diagnosis. It relies on being able to call a set of symptoms something, so that the prescriber can then match a drug or a treatment to that condition, if you like. And it seldom, if ever, addresses the root cause, and it does not look at the whole person. Homeopathy, on the other hand, what comes out of that is a kind of disconnect. There's a disconnect from the whole, from everything that's going on, from everything that makes up the person who is experiencing whatever is being experienced. There's a disconnect from what may be actually contributing to this state, and indeed what may have set it up in the first place. And it is also, because it's not working with the body, it's usually only working for the duration of taking that pharmaceutical medicine. So you have to take it often for life. And that is not without some cost. both financially, obviously, but also just in terms of what is being sacrificed in order for that drug to do what it is supposed to be doing. Homeopathy, on the other hand, works with collecting a group of symptoms, or I prefer to call them expressions, of the dis-ease that the person is feeling, grouped together and matched to a remedy or a group of remedies that most closely resemble those particular expressions. And those expressions are actually taken from the emotional state, the physical state, and the spiritual state, if it's relevant, and anything else that may be going on at the time. And the purpose of the remedy is to support the system, the body, the physical self, the spiritual self, the emotional self, to actually continue doing what it's doing, because it is trying to do something to rectify or to balance or to create harmony or to expel. And it's going to encourage that process and help it to happen as quickly and as efficiently and as deeply as possible. It is nearly always looking at the root cause. It is always bearing in mind the individual sensations that each person is experiencing. And it is, when it does that, it actually completely resolves the energy that's stuck for some reason, whatever it is. Now, that can be that same remedy. Let's say belladonna is the remedy. Let's say that the predominant state that the person is in is one of what we would call inflammation. So that there's heat, there's redness, there's perhaps throbbing pains, there's a kind of deliriousness, a feverishness, and that is perhaps started in one part of the body, let's say the finger. And we prescribe belladonna because we recognise it. And then we go for treatment, or we go for a diagnosis, and we find that it's also happening somewhere else in the body. And the diagnosis calls it something different. And we think, oh, okay, it can't be belladonna then. That's something else. That's something different. So we abandon the belladonna, and we may get pulled to take a different remedy. So that, two things. First of all, means that we're abandoning what could be a really effective remedy. We're not actually allowing it to do its job. And we're also thinking that because it's in a different location, that it therefore needs a different remedy. It doesn't. If the same things are being experienced, no matter where it is in the body, or how deeply it is, or how on the surface it is, the same remedy will be applied. It may be applied differently. It may be applied in a different potency, or it may be that the number of times we take it needs to change. But if we're prescribing at home, we're not in need of a name in order to find the remedy. We are just in need of collecting half a dozen symptoms, half a dozen expressions of dis-ease, and then matching them to a suitable remedy or group of remedies. And it doesn't matter whether that is in your little toe or in your head. It'll be the same remedy. This is speaking in very general terms, obviously. So crossing that bridge over from starting off using homeopathy in an allopathic way, which sometimes can have great results, sometimes can have very muted results or disappointing results, that is going to make the difference between you just kind of tinkering around with it and perhaps getting disappointing results and still being tethered to the allopathic system. Taking that step over and actually understanding, oh, actually, if I really start applying homeopathic remedies in a homeopathic way, I'm going to get much better results. I'm going to get to know my body and my emotions and my whole vital force, if you like, my whole frequency, my whole set of electrical energies that make me, or my family, or, my kids, whatever. I'm going to get to know that much, much better. I'm going to get to know the kind of remedies that really suit me and that I can use in multiple different ways, because there's no rules about that as far as I'm concerned. And it will really liberate your experience of using natural remedies yourself at home. It's so empowering and so freeing and what's the word? You just actually grow and expand so much. And also, it's a darn sight cheaper as well. But we do have to embrace this different paradigm. It doesn't work to try and shoehorn homeopathic remedies into an allopathic setting. It's just like trying to fit a round, brick into a square hole, or whatever the expression is, square peg into a round hole. Is that right? So, yes, you'll get lucky sometimes, but you will have limited results. So what I wanted to encourage is a really honest look at if you are using homeopathy at home yourself. Fantastic, brilliant, carry on. Number one, don't struggle on your own, because it's not straightforward. It's not, well, it is once you embrace the paradigm, but it can be not straightforward. It can seem complex when we're not really understanding the way that homeopathic remedies need to be prescribed in order to be fully successful. So I would always encourage that if you are interested and committed, that you actually do some kind of learning course, whether that's an official college course, and most of the homeopathic colleges will run those. I know here in Ireland, the school in Dublin definitely do a kind of first aid home prescribers course, but also a lot of individual practitioners run their own courses, including me. So if you are interested in learning, then the first thing I would encourage is to pop into my group, Homeopathy in Your Hands. It's a Facebook group, it's a closed group, and I'm actually going to be discussing this way of prescribing, and a few tips for how to what to remember when you're taking a case and prescribing a remedy. I'm going to be doing that this weekend, probably Saturday morning. But if you pop into the group now, then you will be apprised of the times for that live call, and you will also start learning how to use homeopathy properly. You can do that. If you want to talk to me privately, then of course message me, and we can set up a free clarity call. So that's my message today, is to be honest with how you're using homeopathic remedies. Are you still expecting or relying on a diagnosis before you prescribe remedies? Because you don't have to. Have a go. Collect some symptoms together and match them to a remedy, and just give that remedy, because it's not a drug. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. You don't have to weigh up the pros and cons. Oh, there's a list of side effects here versus the perceived benefits. Should I or shouldn't I? Is it going to be harmful? It's not going to be harmful. It's either going to get things moving and that's good, or it's going to do nothing, which is what makes it really beautifully safe. And also, though, when we're learning, when we're crossing over and learning something new, it's as valid to know why something hasn't worked or given you the results that you want, as it is to know why something has got the results that you want. There's great learning and knowledge from both. So if you would like that, then do pop into the group or message me privately, whichever, or just have a look at your own prescribing and see what you can do to get further towards prescribing in a homeopathic way rather than an allopathic way. Thank you so much for joining me, and I can see that people joined, but I can't see any comments. So apologies if I haven't responded to something that you've commented on. I don't know what's going on this morning. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to stop rambling now. Have a beautiful week, and let me know any thoughts or any comments. Take care.